And we are streaming, and now we are recording. So theoretically, we're just going to go run over to...
Can I stop smiling now?
Yeah, no, never stop smiling. Okay, YouTube is streaming. Facebook is... Come on, Facebook. Videos. That's not real recent. Videos. Check. Cannot connect to the RTMP flash server at the given IP address. Blah, 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 blah. Is it not streaming to Facebook? What happened? Output. Start broadcasting. Let's check the output settings. Does Facebook know where the heck we're going? No, it's still got last week's title. I probably didn't save it. Okay, there's rock in my head. Tread. So rock in my tread. Create a new URL. Riveting content right here.
I forgot about the title. There was
output.
There was literally a rock in my tread.
Start Facebook. Okay. Start Facebook. Start. I command you. Start. Okay. Have I started Facebook?
Search doesn't work.
Yes. Okay, now we have to mute this after we... Oh. How is it not already muted? Well, that's concerning. Craig, make sure that we're getting your audio out on the stream. Say something. Hi, Craig.
Hello, Chuck.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Weird. Okay, so for whatever reason, Chrome isn't sending me... Anyway. All right, nobody's watching on Facebook anyway, so that part is safe.
All right.
I'm not sure if we had one. YouTube says one playback, but there's nobody watching right now. So they must have been here and run. Run! Okay.
Hey, by the way, the thumbnail at the moment looks like you and I are both whistling. So don't know. You're like...
Exactly, Eric's.
Yeah.
What are you mumbling about?
I swear, that was so funny.
Wrong show. We need to get some guests on this show again. We need to get some guests. Okay, I think we're done with the pre-show. What do you say we begin the regular show?
Yeah,
hitting record on the audio recorder. Let's put the pre-show title away. See if my titler is going to work. It's really odd that I'm not hearing any dings or bings or anything. Huh. Usually this thing... Put the title away. There we go. Russell Pearson is on. 9 reads. Check it in. For that, my friend, you get a bell.
There you go.
Or you get a coin. Coins are more valuable. Let's do the coin. There. Excellent.
Toss a coin to your listener.
And then we will start the audio recording in 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 647. There's a rock in my tread. I tried to do my best Woody on that. There's a snake in my boots.
That's right. Yeah, you did great.
Hey, welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look, and we mean lighthearted, at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining us, well, thank you. Thank you very much. If you haven't been here for a while and you're just coming back, good for you. Thanks. Welcome back. And if you are a longtime listener and you're here every week, you're downloading and you're viewing and you're liking and you're subscribing, well, there ought to be a Nobel Prize for that, right?
Yeah.
My name is Chuck Tomasi, and I am here with Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing well, but I must say that we are not liable for any therapy that you have to go through if you've been a long-time listener. Just saying.
Okay. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. And
disclaimer:
you'll get none of that here.
That's right.
Okay. This we had a question of the week last week, didn't we?
That
means we get to play this magic music.
Letters, oh, we get letters
By the way,
Yes.
we did have a little feedback. It was buried in all of the dog days of podcasting. Did you
What
catch
kind of
that?
feedback?
We got a feedback that was buried in all the dog days of podcasting
Yes.
from our buddy Kyle, Mad Marv.
Oh, he was answering one of our questions.
He was answering the question, what was the first movie you saw in a theater? And it escapes me which one it was at the moment.
Didn't he say, was it Star Wars?
Oh, I wish I'd gone back and listened to it right before the show.
Yeah, I heard it too, and I meant to make a note. I forgot.
All right.
Sorry.
We'll report back.
Sorry,
Hey,
Kyle.
we'll edit this in post.
When the doorbell goes ding dong, I always want to think of Lurch. You rang.
That's right.
Our question of the week is, of course, what is the first movie you ever saw in a movie theater? And we have several. Craig, you forgot to share again.
Share what? Oh, I
Share
did. But you didn't either.
I shared it. Look under shares. One share.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
sure is.
mine. So you go read some. Well, how many did I get? I got 6 comments on mine. You read the Technorama one. I will start in on my answers. So what do you have, Mr. Sir?
Well, Mike Robeson says, I'm still plagued with the memory of my entire Catholic grade school going to see Pippi Longstocking movie. He said, Jesus would have either given her a good thrashing or tried to exorcise whatever devil possessed her. Possibly both.
All right. We have Jack Mangan, who came in with Star Wars 1977, and he got like thumbs up and hearts and all kinds of emojis on that one.
Yeah. John Kratzer says Star Wars in a long time a long ago.
And my good old friend Mary from Marquette says The Sound of Music. Wow. Okay. In the theater?
Wow.
Maybe they did a replay because that movie came out in 65.
Yeah.
And I know she's as old as me because her locker was right next to mine. So if she saw it in the theater, maybe at the tender age of 6 weeks,
right.
That's one thing.
Maybe. John Miller Jr. said an Ultraman movie. He says, I didn't remember which one. I saw it as a kid many, many years ago. I did not realize that any Ultraman movies had come to the theater, but it's quite possible. Okay.
Every time I think of Ultraman, I think of Jimmy Neutron, his friend Sheen. Ultra Lord!
Oh, yeah. Ultra. I welcome our new overlords. Hey, my dad chimed in. He actually gave us some feedback. He said, Francis the Talking Mule.
Wow. Wow. Wayback Machine. Good one, Doug. Good one.
By the way, Steve London replied to my dad. He said, even I know about Francis.
Yeah, I think
that was probably from the 50s or so.
Francis is Jack's wife, Tiffany, said, probably E.T. or Victor Victoria. I remember the theater I saw each of them in 1982.
Hey, on top of that, my aunt, Patricia Sams, my dad's sister, said, me too, Doug, regarding Francis, with my great-grandmother. So, yeah.
This is starting to sound really sad that our only podcast listeners are your family. Mom, will you listen to my podcast?
They're smart people, man.
My parents used to go, I have no idea what you just said, but you said it well.
That's right. And our buddy Steve London chimed in for his own. He says, oh, hard one. But the first movie that I can say that I saw in the theater was probably The Rescuers in 1977.
Oh, sure.
He said he was scared crapless by the crocodiles in the swamp. But apparently, Dunkerkumpelen, 1974 was the first one, according to my parents. And oh boy, they must have been so high. Not my parent. What? No, not my parents when they came up with that movie.
One more from Lone Guy's Night. He says, I'm pretty sure it was Bambi.
Bambi.
All right. We will have another question for you at the end of the show. Thank you, everybody who responded to that.
Wait, what did you say yours was?
We did ours last week.
I know. I'm trying to remember what you said.
I believe it was Jesus Christ Superstar. All right. We always do ours on the show. At least we try to, unless I cannot think of anything.
Well, mine was Oliver Twist.
So let's put that away.
Or Oliver, excuse me.
Yeah.
Oliver.
Food, glorious food.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get those songs stuck in my head. I'm not doing musicals tonight. No,
Yeah.
no.
More gruel.
On this day in history for August 11th, 2021, this is the 223rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 142 days remaining in 2021. It was on this date in 1858 that the Eiger in the Barnese Alps was ascended for the first time by Charles Barrington, accompanied by Christian Almer and Peter Boren.
87 years ago today, the first civilian prisoners arrived at the federal prison in Alcatraz Island.
Hooray! Smells like new prison in here.
Yeah.
Has that new
carpet
prison smell.
Yeah, that's right.
That new inmate smell. Wonder what it smelled like in the 60s when they shut it down. That same date in 1942, actress Hedy Lamarr. It's Hedley. No, not that one.
No, not that one.
And composer George Antheil receive a patent for a frequency hopping spread spectrum communication system that later became the basis for modern technologies in wireless telephones, two-way radio communications, and Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. All right. That's pretty
1942, kids. Your Wi-Fi has technology roots back that far. And yes, Hedy Lamarr, the movie star. Smart woman.
Well, also today in 1962, Vostok 3 launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, and cosmonaut Andriy Nikolaev became the first person to float in microgravity.
You know, that's probably one of the best Russian ones you've ever done.
Nikolaev? Yeah.
Well, the whole Vostok Baikonur Cosmodrome.
Yeah.
It was also on this date in 1969 that Apollo 11 astronauts were released from a 3-week quarantine following their bout with COVID-19.
Yeah. They were trendsetters.
COVID-69 back then. Okay. No, following the liftoff of the moon, because, they came back and we didn't know, are there deadly microbes that are going to kill everybody on Earth? Because first time to a new place, you never know.
Yeah.
Smart for them.
Right. And it was 31 years ago today, while running for re-election, President Ronald Reagan, while preparing to make his weekly Saturday address on National Public Radio, joked, "We begin bombing in 5 minutes."
That wouldn't have been so funny at the time. Can you just imagine? Is the microphone on?
People are laughing nervously.
How's my hair? How's my hair? Oh, okay. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Not funny, Mr. President. Not funny.
It's a little late to tell him now.
Happy birthday goes out on this date to Hungarian engineer and chess player Otto Blathy, born on this date in 1860. I can do that with an accent, too.
I was going to say, I think you made that one up. Stephen Butterworth, English physicist and engineer, was born on the same date in 1885.
Was he the engineer who came up with the Butterworth syrup?
Yes, Mrs. Butterworth.
Only now, didn't they just change...
That was his wife.
They just changed the name of that, too. Did they not? Or did they change the bottle? They did something.
They didn't change the bottle. I don't know.
German astronomer and academic Eva Arnold Rolfs was born 109 years ago today.
And Alex Haley, American historian and author, was born on the same date in 1921.
The author of Roots would be 100 today. He's like halfway as old as the people he was writing about.
Wow.
200 years ago.
You're right.
Okay, anyway. American businessman founded the International Data Group. Patrick Joseph McGovern was born 84 years ago. What is the International Data Group? We should find out.
IDG.
That it must be Google. They know everything about everyone.
Yeah, IDG. There you go. Also, American computer scientist and programmer, co-founded Apple. Steve Wozniak was born on this date in 1950.
I believe he pronounces it Wozniak.
What did I say? Wozniak? Wozniak? No,
that's fine, Mr. Steep. You keep
right.
on going there. French mathematician and academic Pierre-Louis Lion is 65.
And turning 64 today is Japanese technology entrepreneur and investor Masayoshi Masayoshi, son.
Masayoshi-san. Very, very good, Mr. Masayoshi-san. Also born on the same date in 1962, English video game designer and co-founded Revolution Software, Charles Cecil.
And also turning 38 today is Australian actor Thor. Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
You're Thor. I can barely lift my arms up.
Yeah. Actually, his birthday is on Thor's Day.
Always. I'll give you a rim shot in the background for that one. That did not sound good at all now that I said it. Happy birthday goes to our listeners. Oh, look. The 11th, Steve Wozniak. The 11th. He
was a guest on this show, by the way. You can go back and listen to it.
He was. David Brewer. We interviewed him, back in 2006, 2007, something like that?
Yeah, a long time ago.
David Brewer, Tyrion the Imp. Christine Fiore is on the 13th. She's the co-host of Mega Podtastic. And, honey, you've got to see this. And 17th of August is Clive Jevons from Bomenheim, Germany. Also, Kevin, Susie the Geek, son of the geek in training. I don't think he's in training anymore. I think he's in college or more.
He's probably training others.
Could be.
Yeah.
He's now a drill sergeant. That's the way it was on this day in history for August 11th, 2021. Play that wonderful bean music. Okay, if you want to get your name on the birthday calendar, of course, we have a link for you here.
I was trying not to hit my chin on the edge of the desk.
And you bang right on the microphone.
Yeah, bam. No, I didn't do it.
Go over to chuckchat.com/birthday if you want to get your name on the birthday calendar. We will give you a shout out, or apparently any of your relatives at the appropriate time of year.
Yeah.
So happy to do that. Just one of the things we do to build community around here. So chuckchat.com/birthday. Put that title away, and we go on to random sound for the news.
Good startling news, everyone.
Would you like to take the first story, Craig?
Sure. Remember that interstellar alien thing that came flying through here recently?
You mean, was it cataloged by Project Blue Book?
No,
you mean the probe that was looking for the whales?
Yeah, the big. That's more appropriate, actually. The first interstellar object ever observed at Oumuamua careened past Earth in 2017. It seemed to be accelerating. That's not what most space rocks do, by the way, which is in part why Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb says Oumuamua was an alien spaceship. Although most researchers agree that the object was a space rock, either a comet or a piece of a tiny planet, Loeb thinks that there are countless other objects like Oumuamua whizzing by our planet, some of which may come from aliens too. So he launched a program to find them.
So this is their version of Voyager.
That's right.
They went the cheap route and just launched rocks.
Yeah. So this article is from July 26th, but on Monday, relatively speaking, Loeb announced an initiative called the Galileo Project after the Italian astronomer that will search for physical evidence of alien technology and civilization. Galileo. Figaro.
We're working on that, people. We're working on it. We got an act going here.
That's right. And we're not sure what the act is, but we're getting there. And it's a fishing expedition. Let's go out and catch whatever fish we find. Loeb said in a press conference, and that includes objects close to Earth, hovering within our atmosphere, or objects that came from outside the solar system that look weird.
Just like me, they long to be close to Earth. Let's see how many songs we can get out of these news stories tonight.
I was going to start singing Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom.
There was nothing in here about astronauts.
Not yet.
Keep it relevant.
The $1.75 million project, backed by at least 4 philanthropists, including Tony Stark, aims to use a network of Earth-based telescopes to look for interstellar objects that can be extraterrestrial in nature. The group will also hunt for potential alien ships in Earth's orbit, as well as an unidentified flying craft in our atmosphere.
Do they have the ability to detect cloaked ships yet? 'Cause my guess is they're cloaked.
Look, we all know how to do that. Just
Well,
look for the tachyon trail.
Things got to have a tailpipe.
That's right.
Okay, wow, we are just all over the place.
Yeah, no.
Join us for the topic is Trek if you want more Star Trek references out of the blue. Okay,
That's
I'm
right.
going to jump over to the Hacks and Strange Stories because we have a story about NASA. NASA, not Nassau or Nassau.
Naysay.
When searching for signs of life on other planets, scientists say caves are a crucial place to look. But how can a team on Earth effectively explore intricate, dark, unfamiliar landscapes on another, get out of the way, another world? NASA and Boston Dynamics have found an answer. Fully autonomous robots. Yeah, send those dogs out there. That'd be great. Caves are one of the most likely places to find signs of both current and past lives on other planets because they are capable of protecting life from cosmic raisin things. And extreme temperature fluctuations around the solar system. Longtime listeners will appreciate that reference.
Yes. Yeah.
A NASA project called Braille is now working on exploring the Mars-like caves that already exist on Earth in order to hone key technologies for future missions. Ooh, go into the lava tube, little dog. Arr, arr, arr. According to researchers, the project has enabled the first ever fully autonomous robotic exploration of these types of caves, which are several hundred meters long and limit communication with the surface. As the robots explore with no prior information about the environment, a team of researchers outside the cave simultaneously performs actions that scientists on Earth would be executing during a real Martian mission. The research, which project lead Ali Aga said could, quote, fundamentally change how we think about future missions, unquote, is now in year 3 of 4 in its quest to journey to the moon, the red planet, and beyond. But researchers are interested in exploring caves for another reason beyond finding signs of life. Caves provide obvious natural shelters for future astronauts exploring the Mars or moon. Yes, good stuff. We kind of knew that, but maybe not all the listeners did. But you need caves if you want to be protected. And the robot, this is interesting because that's a cool new use that I hadn't thought of for the robots. But it makes sense because how else, you're not going to launch somebody to Mars and go, hey, go explore these caves and see what you find.
Well, these things are so articulate when walking around and the ability to stand up,
and
stand
hold
back
weapons
up.
so they can defend themselves too.
Hold weapons. Yeah, but I think this is a perfect application for these quote unquote dogs.
I am not going to ever forget that episode of Black Mirror. They just totally destroyed my image of what those robots will do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, quick shout out to the chat room. We got a couple of people hanging out with us. Good
Do we?
evening. Yes, we do. We have several people on Facebook. Only one, as we mentioned earlier, Russell has chimed in. 9 Reads, welcome. Thank you very much. We have, let me quickly check the tote board on YouTube. Not so much there, but we do record this both live on YouTube and Facebook, and you can find the recordings there later on our Technorama page. On Sunday nights, typically Sundays, we had a little bit of a family issue and almost had a technical issue that took us out tonight, but we prevailed. We wanted to make sure we got this goofy content to you anyway.
Yeah. Billions of dollars to build out the internet and just to bring us
cat videos. Yeah.
And Technorama.
Satellites in space to bring you Technorama.
Right.
Not the wisest return on investment. Okay, let's go to Remember When? Your turn.
All right.
Terrifying dragons.
It is. There was a terrifying dragon was Australia's largest flying reptile. I'm glad it was there and not here. Well, I guess it's back then. There was once a species of terrifying dragon flying over Australia 105 million years ago. I started to say today.
Yeah, August 10th.
We were reading the history, 150 million years ago today. According to new research, a fossil, a pterosaur,
yes.
yeah, pterosaur was nearly 30 foot long, or 7 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Wingspan once belonged to Australia's largest flying reptile. The study on these findings, published Monday in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology, the pterosaur likely soared over large inland sea that once covered much of outback Queensland, known as the Ermanga Inland Sea. Its spear-like mouth was perfect for plucking fish out of the sea. So researchers Tim Richards of a University of Queensland postdoctoral student in the School of Biological Sciences Dinosaur Lab, it's a big one, analyzed a jaw fossil from the pterosaur. It was originally discovered in a quarry just north of Richmond in northwest Queensland in June of 2011 by fossilker Lynn Shaw. Fossilkers search for gold and fossils. Gold and fossils? Okay. Anyway, so researchers said that the pterosaur would have been a fearsome beast that likely snacked on juvenile dinosaurs.
Oh, cool.
And there's a big picture of it right there. You can see it. It does have a very extended jaw with teeth.
Yeah.
I bet that thing could pluck something out of a tree and keep going.
Yeah, it's got the same basic body shape as what you're familiar with pteranodons and pterodactyls. But this thing just looks nastier, and some of this may be the coloration of it.
It looks like a distorted pelican.
Kind of, yeah. It's got a pelican-like head, but much bonier rather than the flappy thing to pick up. Well, that's interesting. Hang on, let me look at the. I'm wondering if it could possibly have had a pouch underneath, like a pelican, because if it fished in the same way.
Oh, under the mouth.
Yeah. Although pelicans, they often land in the water. This sucker would not land in the water.
Yeah. No, I was just noting the shape reminded me a little bit of a pelican.
Yep. I love
He says it's quite amazing these fossils of these animals exist at all. I would say so. By world standards, the Australian pterosaur record is poor, but the discovery of the I
figure you were gonna
contributes greatly to our understanding of the Australian pterosaur diversity. Anyway, that's pretty cool.
It's Tapun Ngaga.
Yeah. Okay.
It says right there in the paragraph right above the picture with the guy smiling. The genus name Tapun Ngaga incorporates Tapun and Ngaka.
Oh, I see.
The Wanamara words for spear and mouth, respectively. Said, so it's Tapun Ngaga, the Wanamara. Okay. Tapun is spear in the Wanamara, and Ngaga. They must have done the Aboriginal words for that. Very cool. How would you like to find something like that? That'd be so awesome.
I know, we'd be rich.
I don't know about that. Did you watch the documentary on the dinosaur Sue that was found in Wyoming, I think it was?
No. Is there one?
Ooh, that's a story of politics and bureaucracy and licensing and money.
Oh, yeah, I bet so.
And had no clear winners, but.
Did you see that streaming or just talking about like a long time ago?
I believe it was on Netflix, and I've seen it years and years ago, but it was worth watching again. Okay. Massive army of volunteers that built AOL in the 1990s. Let's do another Remember When story. The version of this post originally appeared on Tedium, a twice-weekly newsletter that hunts from the end of the long tail. In some ways,
we are talking about AOL, so haunts is the appropriate word.
In some ways, social media started with a bet by a bunch of startups that if presented the right way, regular people would share whatever they wanted to on their platforms without expecting any sort of compensation. Give them a place to list their profiles or share their thoughts. get a little ego stroke, and they'll be totally fine with sticking around for free. Sure, you could actually go on Twitter because of the people, but the people who run the network get all the money, even if you generate a significant amount of their traffic.
So are you talking about AOL, or are we talking about Facebook?
Yes, all of them.
All of
This
them.
is a weird line of thinking, I know, but given the recent news involving Tumblr, I kind of got curious about whether there was a situation where this equation flipped, where people were using the platform for free and suddenly expected to get paid for it. As it turns out, there was, and it was a biggie. The version of AOL that entered millions of homes via dial-up lines in the late 90s, thanks to an army of volunteers that carried the network's weight on their unpaid shoulders. This paragraph is just titled 14K. The number of volunteers that America Online had at the turn of the 21st century, according to a 2000 assessment of the Washington Post, which described those volunteers as, quote, the police, tour guides, and construction workers in AOL's virtual world. This relationship became strained when some of the volunteers put two and two together and realized, hey, we're making billions of dollars for AOL.
Yeah. I'm stopping my volunteering effort.
So 14K was not just the speed of your modem. It was the
Yeah.
number of employees that were there. Okay.
Yeah.
When we paid for online access by the minute, people volunteered to manage networks to stay online longer. You've most assuredly, over the years, seen one of the many stories written about Facebook's treatment of staff members and contractors who work to moderate the massive site. As low-paid contractors working what must be one of the hardest white-collar roles imaginable. Perhaps you couldn't understand why content moderators was at the bottom of the food chain for social media platforms, despite the fact that it's such a front-facing interaction. But the truth is, decades before Facebook found itself heavily criticized for its poor moderation, its predecessors weren't even paying the moderators at all. Not even on a freelance basis. If they were lucky, they might get a discount on access. A good deal back then, given that people paid for online access by the hour in those days. Sounds like long-distance calls when the old day. Can't talk to Grandma for more than 20 minutes or we'll rack up a phone bill.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, though.
I've got some stories about that.
We were leaning pretty hard on the unpaid moderators to provide basic functionality on our early online networks. Now, to be clear, there is a degree of modern context being applied to a vintage activity here. We didn't have terms like gig economy in 1991. And on top of all that, commercial online services were limited in the early days of online culture. There was an exception that there was an expectation that things were just built and used on a volunteer basis. Perhaps an extension of the formative bulletin board systems. Woo! Ran one of those.
Yep.
So interesting stuff. If you want to read more, go over to episode 647 over at chuckchat.com/Technorama.
I know some people that they would dial into AOL.
Yes.
And they didn't realize that you could actually get directly onto the internet. They thought that the AOL interface
was the internet.
They thought that was the internet. And it's like, no. Let me show you. And then you open up.
Didn't they have like some built-in browser?
They kind of had I never really used it, so I'm trying to remember. But they had like a kind of a browser or a gateway thing to the internet, and where you could do all the things that they had kind of packaged up. They did a good job with packaging it up for people, just the lay person to get online.
Use your AOL keyword, Technorama.
Yeah.
Remember AOL keywords.
AOL keyword. That's right.
Okay.
CompuServe had keywords too, I think.
Quick thank you to CompuServe had user IDs that were like 6-digit, 6-digit. Good luck remembering that. Thank you to our patrons. Very much thank you for your financing, your support, your helping us keep this show running. We just had a software bill come in to renew our support for the streaming software. this show is all on your shoulders. Thank you. And you're not doing it for free. No, we're not doing it for free. Wait, how does this relate to the last article? I don't know, but unlike those people, we will give you thank yous. Thank you, Alexis Duran and Amber Elstad. Thank you, Amy Bowen. Thank you, Evner Braverman. Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris MC, Dan D. Man. You are the foundation. We build this and you show up. Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, who gave me some nice compliments on the last Saturday night karaoke. Harold McKinstry, John Clifford, John Noble. That John Noble. Our John Noble. Jorga Schrauen, Christina, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Mike Wills, Chris Martinez, Saturday Morning Media, and the four Steves. Stephen Weshy, Stephen Therian, Steve Cody, and Sweet Steve London. The four Steves sounds like that'd be a good band name, right?
Sweet Steve London.
If you want to be a Patreon supporter, you want to be like these cool people, for as little as $1 a show, you can help put coin in the bank to keep our bandwidth going. Oh my gosh, I'm just like not looking forward to next year's massive domain registration.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your bandwidth issues.
No, that our bandwidth actually comes out of our own pocket. That's about the only.
Well, I know. I mean, I was just laughing because you were having issues with.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. Right before the show started, like I went to do a speed test because Facebook was being slow, Google Docs was being slow, and it said you have 20 meg down and 0.26 up. I can't even yell out my window. I need more bandwidth than that just to wave. My
carrier pigeon's faster than that.
Yeah, I could wave to Craig and he wouldn't even see it with that bandwidth across the country. So, called up support and they said, yes, we're doing periodic maintenance. Great. Then what? They said, wait 20 minutes. I waited 10. Rebooted the modem. Didn't help. Rebooted the machine. Things came back to life. So we said, full steam ahead. We're doing a podcast. So patreon.com/Technorama podcast. We are here fighting for the users. How was that for a Tron reference?
There you go. I like it. I like it.
Let's jump right into our next segment then. Stop that music. Bring that up. And we have some TV shows to tell you about.
That's right.
In our segment we lovingly call Pass Me the Remote. Not pass the remote. That's a different thing.
Pass me the remote. All right. So the first up, I think a lot of people actually saw this, was the Suicide Squad, which was the newer incarnation of
the movie that was out about 4 years ago.
Yeah. So, that was Suicide Squad. This is the Suicide Squad, which I have to say, this is from.
They added "the" to it and called it a new movie?
Pretty much.
That's lame. Well, that is lame. Hollywood, you have stooped to a new low of unimaginativeness.
No. Let's back up. Hold on before you start slamming it. So it is a different movie. It's the same premise,
the same
but
title.
It's
the same title. Let's put "the" on it.
That is a little weird. But
and then we'll change it to A Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, this is from James Gunn, who wrote and directed it, who did Guardians of the Galaxy. And he is apparently really good at doing ensemble films.
Is he related to Peter Gunn?
Dun, 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 I don't know about that. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Sorry, we're still throwing music references in the show.
The Peter Gunn theme. Yeah.
Well, then you could use it for the James Gunn movie.
Yeah. So anyway, the show was really good. It was technically a sequel from the previous one, but it's different characters.
Did you like it?
Part, there's some. I really liked it. I thought it was well done.
And Nutty Nuchas liked it, but Kyle said, "Nah."
The humor was really good, but it's very adult. Let's put it that way. The humor. So and the gore, it kind of. I mean, as in cartoony violence. Gotcha. Like a superhero film. But yeah, it was well worth it. I thought it was good. And the other one I just watched tonight was Val, about Val Kilmer. It's a documentary about himself. It's on Amazon Prime.
Does he star as himself?
He's in it.
How old is he now?
He's 61.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Now, Yeah, you remember a few years ago he had cancer, throat cancer,
Oh, I
and
didn't hear that. I
he had
missed
throat
that.
cancer.
Okay.
He lost his voice for the most part. Remember, he was doing Mark Twain for quite a while, and he ended up losing his voice. And they realized he had throat cancer. He had to have surgery, and then
That sucks.
then he had to do the chemo and everything, and it really took his voice away. And he's got a trach that he has to talk through. But what's interesting about the whole documentary is it's his life, but shown through video that he's been shooting constantly throughout his whole life. So there's a lot of behind the scenes footage from some films, as well as seeing people like Kevin Bacon and some other actors, when they were like kids, when they were young. And it was kind of amazing to see. Not like kids like 12 and younger. I mean, but they were
Footloose age.
Early 20s, and it's pretty cool. I didn't realize
Top
he had.
Gun age.
What's that?
Top Gun age.
Well, less than that.
Pre-Batman age.
Less than that. So anyway, it's worth checking out. It's
When
on
they were
Amazon
on
Prime.
Sesame Street.
Yeah. Actually, the kind of video that he was shooting, I'm surprised. It makes me wonder what life would be like if YouTube existed back then, because that's the kind of behind the scenes stuff that you'd be seen online. His life. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what do you see?
Donna and I started watching a show called Outlander. This is it's several seasons. I forget if it's 4, 5, or 7 seasons. We are almost done with season 1. And she read all the books, so she knows what's coming up, but she's not telling me, which is a lot of fun. She's like, I don't like this part. It's too hard to watch. And, but she only knows it from the book, so what they adapted. It's a story about a woman just at the end of World War II, as World War II ends. She's from England, and she and her husband go up to Scotland for a little bit of post-war honeymoon. And there's a bit of an accident. They're exploring some ancient Druid ruins, and she actually gets sucked back in time in Scotland, back to 1743, somewhere in there.
Wow!
Right before the British were in their territory. They're in their backyard. They're trying to say, hey, You're citizens of the crown, so behave like it. And they're not. They're like, get off my land. And I'm not going to ruin the story, but it is. It's got romance. It's got violence. It's got humor. It's got nudity. So,
I'm in.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of something for everybody. We are really, really enjoying this. I believe we just finished episode 11 this evening. So probably by the time this comes out, we'll have season 1 under our belt. I'm throwing out random predictions, and Donna can't answer them. I'm like, I think, all of this is because of this, or I think it's gonna. It's like, that's a good guess.
Right.
She's better at holding her tongue on this stuff than I am, because if she had guessed the right answer, like, how?
Right.
So
how many seasons do they have?
Of Outlander?
I see 4 on Netflix.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think there's a 6th season. So.
Oh, okay. We'll have to go find it.
Oh, the 6th season will air in early 2022.
Okay. So they are still working on it.
Mike Robeson says, if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
There's if you're a fan of The Crown, the actor who played the older Prince Philip, the one always I can't remember the actor's name, but not the Matt Smith one, but the older one, right?
Right.
He plays a key character in this, and he actually plays 2 characters. So before she gets sent back in time, it's her husband, Frank Randall, and he was telling a little bit about the history and whatnot. And when she gets sent back in time, it's one of his ancestors, Black Jack Randall, and he is a bad guy. I mean, he's not what you would think of as an officer at all. So I kudos on him for playing both of these parts really, really well. So I love seeing the same actor in a series play, kind of like in Deep Space Nine, where they'd go to the alternate universe, the mirror universe, and you'd see, Nana Visitor playing the Intendant on Tarek Noor, but then she also plays Carrie Reese. And obviously Jeffrey Combs played, about a dozen different characters?
If that least,
So, I like watching the same actor put on different characters. It's one thing when you got makeup to work with or prosthetics, but this is just like costume and raw acting. So I like Outlander. It's a good us show for us anyway. So very much recommend it. Okay, we have dwelled on that. We've got one more thing in the Geek Library about back to lightsabers, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't we answer this already once before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we don't have to read the whole thing, but this is here, I'll read a little bit of it.
Don't read the first line. People will take away your geek card.
What do you mean?
The one that starts out, I've never been.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't. It's not me.
The author of this, who
the author of the
Mr.
article.
Daniel Kolitz states, I've never been a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. He says, I've seen only one of the movies, The Phantom Menace.
That's probably why he's not a fan.
Yeah, no wonder. You don't start there. He says, when I was 8 years old at the time, and yet even I, as a child, owned and played with one of those little lightsaber toys, as have millions of children before me and after me. Not to mention the millions of children yet unborn who will not be spared induction into the Disney industrial complex. And of course, what every child thinks as he or she is swinging the plastic rods is this: I wish this was real.
Now, you see, the rich kids had plastic rods to swing around. Us poor kids had the wrapping tubes from Christmas paper, the cardboard.
Yeah. Well, those things you could hit somebody with.
Yeah, not too hard or they'd buckle.
Yeah. Hey, you bit my lightsaber.
That's how the parents keep you from playing too rough. Give them breakable toys.
Right. That's right. So no doubt Disney would rake in even more money if it sold actual lightsabers, but ignoring the impact this might have on lightsaber related crimes, the question becomes, are lightsabers even possible scientifically?
No.
For this week's Giz Asks, which is Gizmodo, we reached out to a number of laser and plasma scientists to find out.
Not at present.
Yeah, well, sort of.
No, not at present. No, you can't take light and make stop it at a meter and then charge it up so much that you're going to be able to cut someone's arm off. No.
I saw somebody make a plasma sword and shout out, and I'll show you the YouTube chat video.
Yeah, and wasn't that the one where they were carrying like a gigawatt generator on their back?
Well, okay, you want to get technical? Yes, they did.
Yeah, no.
I will say,
and it took a while to charge it up too. It wasn't like just turn it on and no.
Yeah. Now the one Disney's putting out does look pretty cool. Have you seen that?
No.
So what they're using is they got the hilt and this kind of mechanism. It's almost based like when you have a tape measure and it's kind of curved and it kind of keeps its structure right until you buckle it. Well, the thing is that they use that kind of metallic ribbon to come out, and it looks like a lightsaber. You should see the video of it. It's actually pretty cool.
Well, you got a link?
I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
But yeah.
You do that. But for now, kids, we can dream of the future, but physics isn't letting us do this one anytime soon with any measurable amount. Can you imagine if you had a weapon like that?
Yeah, you go. Mike Robinson said, there's the lawsuit for the future. Timmy chopped his arm off again.
But it's a clean break because it cauterizes as it goes. So that's always nice. Okay,
Right.
we are going to end you with another question of the week before we go. What fictional company would you like to work for? Skynet?
Yeah, the Whaling Corp. What was it in Back to the Future? I mean, in Back to the Future, Blade Runner.
Star Trek 4? The Whaling Corp?
Yeah, work for Wayne Industries.
Oh, ooh, Stark.
No, it was Wayland was in Aliens.
Okay.
There you go.
Aliens they just referred to it as the corporation.
It was Wayland Corporation. It was Wayland.
Okay.
They were
Why would you
building better worlds. There you go.
Literally building better worlds. Oh,
Work for
Nakatomi. What was the company that Slarty Bartfast worked for in Hitchhikers?
Oh,
he was
was
building better worlds.
Yeah, yeah. Was it really a company? I don't know.
I think it was a race that built designer worlds for other rich worlds or whatever it was. It's been a while. Okay. That's our question. What fictional company would you like to work for? There it is. We are going to record our Patreon show real quick, but we will talk to you again real soon. If you want to talk to us, well, then, of course, the way you do that is you jump on
internet. You got to log into AOL.
Yeah. Dial up 707-530-2428. There
Use
you
the
go.
keyword Technorama.
AOL keyword Technorama. And visit our MySpace page. Hey, you're the one who has a podcast right now that says visit me on Google Plus.
I know. I got to change the.
You said you were going to change that last week.
Well, I know. I haven't had a chance to do it, so I'll get there. And guess what I'm doing tomorrow?
You can shame people into new technology.
Yeah.
There's our question of the week next week. What technology have you been shamed into using? And it turns out, hey, this is a better way to go.
That's right. That's right.
Email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. We'd love to hear from you, as we have so many other time. Don't forget, Sunday nights, 9:30 Eastern time. Hang out with us on Facebook. And why aren't we playing the music while we're doing this?
Meow. There you
Here
go.
we are. It's the cat. Meow.
Meow.
Play the cat. Last comments in here. Oh, Wayland Yutani Corporation. Thank you, Mike.
An alien.
And any other information or announcements we got to do in the last 30 seconds?
Oh, if you're Dragon Con, come see us.
Yes, we'll be at Dragon Con. We have our Technorama Comedy Forecast and Friends, or the other way around. I can't remember because we always mix it up. We've got a
watch out for Facebook
Star
doing
Trek
everything.
panel.
We'll tell you where we're at.
Exactly. We're even planning a karaoke party. So hopefully we'll see you there. And I think that's it. Until next time, tell a friend about Technorama and give us a binary high five, Craig.
All right, 101, everybody.
Take care. Be safe. Bye. That's an awesome cat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one down, and we are going to shut down the streaming software and record our Patreon show for our wonderful people who donate a little bit of money to the cause. Keep this show going. We certainly didn't earn a whole lot of it in July.
No, we didn't do anything in July.
I almost missed this week, but hey, wait a minute. It's the 9th. I never saw it. We did one show in July.
The tail end.
I didn't see any deposit. I'm going to have to check our finances. They usually get that in by the 6th or the 7th. Something's up. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for hanging out and watching later.
Thanks for joining our meeting, and we'll send out a copy of the minutes.
Minutes. We need a designated minutes taker.